Good. All right, good evening, everyone. The time is 6 p.m., and I will now call this public hearing to order. I'm going to start off by reading the resolution, the legal notice for the public hearing, and then we'll open it up for public comment, and anyone who wishes to address the board is welcome to come up to the podium and just state name and address. So this is a Board of Selectmen legal notice of public hearing dated December 30th, 2024, 6 p.m. in the Buck Foreman Community Room at 265 Main Street, Portland, Connecticut. Pursuant to Section 506 of the Portland Town Charter, a public hearing will be held by the Board of Selectmen on Monday, December 30th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the Buck Foreman Community Room to consider public comments and questions, both orally and in writing, on the requested use of ARPA funds. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Portland hereby approves an increase of an additional $33,882.65 of ARPA funds in addition to the previously allocated amount of $120,000 for a total allocation of $153,882.65 to be used for land use department projects. Be it further resolved that if any funds remain from the Co Avenue Pump Station project, that they be reallocated and used for sewer projects and equipment that the Public Works Director deems appropriate. And be it further resolved that if any funds remain from the Fire Engine Number 2 replacement, that they be reallocated and used for fire department equipment and purchases deemed appropriate by the fire chief. Public access through Zoom link A at portlandct.org, dated this 19th day of December 2024. Test Ryan J. Curley, First Selectman. So with that, we'll open it up to public comments. If anyone has any comments on this. This is just basically, it's us allocating the remaining balances of our American Rescue Funds. And so we have to do that by the end of 2024. And if we don't do that, then those funds would be lost, and so that's why we're here having this public hearing, and so and then we'll have a Board of Selectmen meeting immediately following that. So you're welcome to come up if anyone would like. Maybe I'll check online too. Is there anyone online that wishes to comment? And Bobby is with us remotely this evening, so he's on. I think that's Bobby's iPhone, so he should be just so he's not muted, so he's able to speak when he wants to speak.
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you, Bobby. All right. Any takers in the audience? We'll do a last chance online. Going once. Going twice. All right, so at 6:03 p.m. we will close the public hearing, and we will have a special meeting of the Board of Selectmen immediately following this at 6:05 p.m. So we'll be right back. Thank you all. All right. Good evening, everyone. The time is 6:05 p.m., and I will now call this special meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Our first order of business tonight is, you see flowers next to me. 12 days ago, we, as a board, as a town, as a community, experienced the tragic loss of our friend, Sean Manning. And so I know it's been a very difficult time for all of us, especially his family, fire department, and this board. I would just ask everyone, please rise for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Ryan, can I just say something at this point in the evening?
Yes.
We, as you all know, we were, according to Company 2 firemen, they called us the first responders in this case, which unfortunately we all were. Thursday evening, the day after the tragedy, we were invited to a grief counseling session at Company 2 Firehouse. It was difficult. Many of us were there. I want to recognize our first responders who are amazing, who just go above and beyond all the time, and what we went through as a group here, they go through on a daily basis. And when we came in the door, they greeted us with compassion, and I just want to thank them for that on behalf of all of us.
Well said.
Sorry, but it was
well said.
It was amazing.
Thank you, John. Would anyone else like to say anything? The floor is yours.
No, I just thought it was important that they be recognized for what they did.
I'd like to thank Michael for getting these flowers here. Thank you, Mike. It was a nice touch. Thank you. All right. We do have a lot of business on this agenda tonight, everyone, so I'll try to move things along as quickly as I can. But the first thing I have our town council is here with us on Zoom this evening. I think Carrie Olson is here, Jamie Russell, and I believe Joe Sirocco is on as well. So Carrie, I'll turn it over to you, and if you just wanted to introduce yourselves for those of I think everyone's familiar with you, Carrie, but I think it would be worth saying hi.
Really thoroughly enjoy working with each and every one of you. I thought it was worthwhile, given that we have this significant transition upcoming, and not to mention the recent upheaval, to introduce to you not only myself, but other members of our municipal practice group. My video has been turned off, so I'm not trying to be rude. I can't control it. But I do have with me tonight 2 other members of our municipal group that, here I can start it. And the message, did it come up? I don't see it. I don't know if you can see me, but in any event, the message we wanted to relay to all of you, because of all of the recent transitions and issues that Portland has been facing, is that we are here for you. And, we're here to be your advisors, your counselors, and so you should feel free to contact any one of us. Again, most of you know me. I'm a partner at Bertha Kleina, and now I'm going to give Joe and Jamie 1 minute each to introduce themselves, again, just for the purpose of making sure that you all know who you can contact if you need help. Joe, do you want to start? Joe?
Joe, we can't hear you. Hold on a second. I'm not sure if it's our end or your end. It's his end. Joe, try to turn your mic on and off again.
Joe, while you play with it, I'm going to turn it over to Jamie.
Thank you. Again, I am so sorry for the loss of your community. Everything I've heard about Sean was only good things, and I really do send my dearest condolences to the community Again, my name is Jamie Russell. I work out of the Hartford office of North Carolina. I'm a Bristol, Connecticut, born and raised native. And over the past year, I've had the opportunity to work with Carrie on some of the town of Portland matters. And I've really come to love the community, all of the people, and the beauty of the community. I have a background in finance and economics, which I like to think allows me to approach legal matters with a strategic, business-minded perspective. And I also have experience with insurance defense, handling litigation, and coverage matters. I look forward to working with the board and continuing to collaborate with the community to find solutions that benefit your community. Pleasure to meet all of you and look forward to working together.
Thank you, Jamie. Joe? We still can't hear you, buddy. So listen, I'm not going to hold up the show here. You guys have a really long agenda, but this is Joe Shareko. For those of you who don't know him, he has worked a great deal with many of the principals of your various departments on zoning and building enforcement matters. And again, he's an asset and someone that you can turn to if you have questions or concerns. And thank you for this couple of minutes.
All right, so with that, we'll move on to item 3, which is a resolution on American Rescue Plan funds, which is the purple resolution in your packet. Would someone like to move the resolution?
You want a full reading, or you want?
Yeah, why not? I mean, unless, do you want to waive the reading and summarize it? Do you want me to summarize it? It's one page.
Why don't we read it?
We can read it.
Read
No
it,
problem.
yeah.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution dated December 30, 2024, American Rescue Plan Funds, project update and authorizations. Whereas the town of Portland is in receipt of American Rescue Plan funds, and whereas up to $10 million of ARPA funds can be used for a wide range of expenditures due to the final rule regarding revenue loss, and whereas the town previously allocated $1,350,000 for water and sewer improvement projects, including a Russell Ave water main replacement project completed and a Co-Ave pump station improvement project ongoing. And whereas the town had previously allocated $965,000 for the purchase of a fire engine to replace engine number 2, a purchase order has been issued and a contract signed for this purchase, and the engine is currently being built. And whereas the town previously allocated funds for the purchase of a wheelchair-accessible bus for the senior center and the purchase and installation of a generator at fire company number 3. And whereas both projects have been completed with a total remaining balance of $18,624.17. And this is $8,252 from the bus project and $10,372.17 remaining from the generator project. And whereas $15,258.48 remain unallocated from the initial ARPA funding, and whereas the town previously allocated $120,000 for improvements to the land use department, including document digitization, GIS mapping, and online permitting, and whereas 2 of those projects remain ongoing and a need exists for additional funding to award the online permitting contract. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Portland hereby approves an increase of an additional $33,882.65 of ARPA funds in addition to the previously allocated amount of $120,000 for a total allocation of $153,882.65 to be used for land use department projects. Be it further resolved that if any funds remain from the Co-Ave pump station project, that they be reallocated and used for sewer projects and equipment that the Public Works Director deems appropriate. And be it further resolved that if any funds remain from the fire engine number 2 replacement, that they be reallocated and used for fire department equipment purchases deemed appropriate by the fire chief.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you both. Any discussion? This is what we had the public hearing on, you may recall. So if there's no discussion, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, the next item in your packet is the yellow resolution. This is a resolution awarding contract for online permitting in the Land Use Department this has been, and this is one of the reasons why we needed to button up the rest of the American Rescue funds. You may recall we had funded 3 projects in the land use office. That was digitizing all of the records in the land use office. Then we created a new GIS mapping system for the town. And then the third was online permitting, which is going to make doing business in the building and land use office much easier. And so with that, this is the resolution. We had issued an RFQ, then an RFP, and Granicus LLC was the winner of that. And so I ask someone to move the resolution.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
Resolution, Board of Selectmen, Town of Portland, Connecticut, dated December 30th, 2024, contract agreement with Granicus LLC. Resolved that the Board of Selectmen hereby authorizes First Selectman Ryan J. Curley to execute and deliver in the name of and on behalf of the Town of Portland a contract with Granicus LLC, 1152 15th Street Northwest, Suite 800, Washington, D.C., 20005, for RFP number 2024-08A, online permitting system. The total bid for one-time fees for training, implementation, configuration, project management, and templates customization is $20,988.18. Additionally, new subscription fees will be $16,894.92 for the total of $37,883.10. Assuming future annual budget funding, annual licensing support will be as follows. For year 2 through 5, for SmartGov Enterprises, Connector Financial, Connector Merchant, year 2, $17,401.76. Year 3, $17,923.83. Year 4, $18,828.34. Year 5, $19,393.19.
I'll second. Thank you, John, and Mike seconded. Any discussion on this? All right, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Bobby, are we assuming that you're a yes on all these unless you tell us otherwise?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. The next item is an item that we had talked about at our last meeting back, what was it now? It seems like so long ago, December 4th. And we had talked about the pavilion that we have at our riverfront park and the water damage that we've experienced with the pillars. And it's currently unusable. There's caution tape that is around the area right now. And there are 14 pillars at the pavilion. Out of those 14, upon evaluation, 8 of them need to be replaced immediately. And the remaining 6 are likely going to also need to be replaced at some point as well. It's just a matter of time. So we had, I think the board was all very much in favor of, I mean, this is a necessity. To me, this is the perfect use of town contingency funds to replace these pillars. We do have a company which is on state contract, and that is Creature Recreation. So this is all on state contract. And what I'm proposing, so right now, to replace the 8 pillars, it looks like it would cost $23,304. But I think I'd like to ask the board for authorization to go up to $35,000, just in case when they do the work, in case they find additional damage while they're doing it. I think it would be prudent so that we can keep going, so that we wouldn't have to come back if there was additional damage. But that's up to the board. But my suggestion would be $35,000. But if you guys want to do $30,000.
At $35,000, Ryan, what's the per leg cost that they're anticipating? And part of me looking at that is, if we've got more than half the legs are already in disrepair, the others are probably not too far behind. And I don't know, from an aesthetic standpoint and a safety standpoint, are we better off just to address them and you know, it might be a little less expensive doing that than just having to call a vendor back a second time, right? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I think right now we're only planning on replacing the 8, but the concern is that once they get in there and they start working, there may be additional expenses that they find. So while we do have a set price at the $23,304, just as, you know, a contingency factor, I would request, you know, more, and likely we won't use that, you know, but the authorization. I spoke with Tom Robinson and our former Public Works Director, Ryan O'Halpin, about this, and this was their suggestion, just to make sure that, you know, we can get the job done. I don't think we can replace all 14. I think that's cost prohibitive right now, Jim,
Okay.
based on, you know, where we're at with contingency.
But based on the inspection right now, we're still safe to go with just the ones.
We're safe. We actually only thought we were gonna need to replace 6, but when they came out and took a look at it, they determined there was another 2 that really needed. The company wasn't gonna sign off on it unless we replace 8. So, they're confident that 8 is a number, but I guess there's something to do with, once they have to lift the roof up off it to replace these.
Yeah.
And I guess there may be added expenses, the concern is that there may be some damage under the roof when they actually get in there and look at it. And so that's the primary reason why I'm asking for a higher authorization.
All right,
But,
well, if you want, then I'll make a motion that we approve the contingency funds for pillar replacement at the Riverfront Park up to $35,000.
I'll second that.
Thank you both. So hopefully it comes in much less. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, the next item is something that's been near and dear to a lot of people's hearts in town. And I had no idea, well, actually I did know, when I got a call from DOT back, I think it was last February. I was at a conference in Hartford, and DOT called, and they told me that we had hours to move our Welcome to Historic Portland brownstone sign, or they were going to move it for us. And despite my pleas for a stay of execution, they moved the sign. And so it has not been, everyone remembers where the sign was. It was in the triangle as you come into town. It's a beautiful brownstone sign, which is for the past, 10 months or so, 12 months or so, has been housed at our Public Works garage. So one of the things that we've wanted to do is to get the sign back in action. And so really, we worked with DOT, and I do want to thank DOT. They didn't make us move the sign, but they also helped work with us to find a new home for it. So I do want to thank DOT. And it's going to be, as you come over the bridge into Portland, right before the gas station, we're going to move
The vacant lot.
the vacant lot there. And it's going to be set, it's got to be set far enough back, but it'll be very visible from the road. It's going to look nice, I believe, and I think we should get a spotlight or something to make it look nice. But we did get 3 quotes for a company to help us move and install the sign, and it's not cheap. I put in Garofalo was the low bidder on this, and they came in at $12,200. So I would be asking for authorization to award this to Garofalo. And Garofalo is the same company that had done the sidewalk replacement on Main Street over the summer. So Ryan O'Halpin felt comfortable doing this. Mizzy was also one of the 3 vendors that we got quotes from. I think they came in at just shy of $15,000, so they were a couple thousand, like $2,500 more. And then the next quote was over $20,000. So that was quickly rejected. So this seems like another good use of contingency funds, given that the town has demanded that this sign get put back. And so if it's the last thing I do, we're going to get that sign back there. So I would need a motion, though.
I'll make the motion that we approve the contingency funds for replacing the Welcome to Portland sign up to $15,000.
I'll second it.
Thank you both. Any further discussion on that? Oh, I also want to thank Bobby, too, because Bobby was very helpful. I think he actually spoke with DOT as well on this and worked to relocate it. So thank you, Bobby. And with that, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right. Item 7 is a resolution to create the America 250 Portland, Connecticut Committee. I'm very excited about this as well. You may recall I did brief the board a couple months back that the state of Connecticut, the United States, we're all celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country. And so the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the 250th anniversary will occur on July 4th, 2026. And so with that, the state of Connecticut has asked all municipalities to create an America 250 committee in our towns to work and to celebrate this. So I think we all received a note from Susan Bransfield, who is the president of the Historical Society in town, and we're thrilled to be working with the Historical Society on this, so we're going to welcome their help, as well as I'm hoping we can get some help from our library in town and our town clerk as well, among others. And so anyone in here tonight or watching that may want to participate in this, I think it's a celebration committee. We've got a lot of history, and Portland played a role in that. So I think it's a good thing. So there's a resolution in your packet. It is long, but
I'll take it if you want.
All
And I
right,
was going
yeah.
to say it's long, but there's a lot of information there which I think people need to hear. So
I
if you don't
agree.
mind, I'll give it a go.
No, thank you, John.
Okay, Resolution Board of Selectmen, Town of Portland, dated December 30th, 2024. Resolution creating the American 250 Portland, Connecticut Committee. Whereas the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the formation of the United States of America will occur on July 4th, 2026. And whereas Connecticut is embarking on a multi-year commemoration, celebration, and reflection on the 250th anniversary of the American War for Independence. And whereas the United States Congress established the United States Semi-Quincentennial Commission to provide for the observance and commemoration of the 250th anniversary of founding of the United States and related events through local, state, national, and international activities planned, encouraged, developed, and coordinated by a national commission representative of appropriate public and private authorities and organizations. Whereas the United States Semi-Quincentennial Commission encourages states to establish state-level commissions to plan and coordinate activities within each state celebrating the 250th anniversary of the nation's founding. Whereas the establishment of the Connecticut Semi-Quincentennial Commission will enhance tourism, economic development, historic education and preservation, and outdoor recreation within the state. And whereas the Connecticut Semi-Quincentennial Commission will coordinate, engage, liaison with the U.S. Semi-Quincentennial Commission and other local, county, and state commissions, as well as private and public organizations and partners, including but not limited to the American 250 Foundation and the American Battlefield Trust. And whereas the Commission will develop, encourage, and execute an inclusive celebration, commemoration, and observance of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence through civic, cultural, and historical education events and programming. And whereas the Commission will promote the documentation, identification, and preservation of cultural and historic resources, including archives, buildings, landscapes, objects, and sites related to the semi-quincentennial period. And whereas the American 250 Connecticut Commission was established to support the state in commemorating this milestone and to reflect on both the past 250 years and the shared future ahead. And whereas the town of Portland seeks to both commemorate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and also to focus on engaging Portland's community by involving the public in preserving local history and the ways in which Portland's residents have and continue to shape the fabric of our town. Now therefore be it resolved that the Portland Board of Selectmen, pursuant to section 405.5 of the Portland Charter, do hereby create 250 America Portland, Connecticut Committee Be it further resolved, the purpose of the committee is to plan and coordinate community events and displays commemorating the signing of the Declaration of Independence and celebrating Portland's contributions, experiences, and history. Be it further resolved, the committee will coordinate with the America 250 Connecticut Commission and will work together to explore how to best celebrate our residents and honor our town's place in American history. The committee will coordinate with community groups such as, but not limited to, the Portland Historical Society, Friends of the Library, the Lions Club of Portland, the Hemlock Grange, the Portland Public Schools, Veterans Affairs Committee, local churches, and other civic organizations in creating community events. The committee will plan, coordinate, and sometimes may supervise these events during the year-long celebration. The committee may coordinate historic themed educational displays throughout the town, celebrating America's successes and explaining America's challenges and how we as a town, state, and nation persevered to overcome them. The committee is charged to be creative in our town commemorates the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and the American experience as lived by our residents, past and present, in Portland, Connecticut. Be it further resolved, the committee shall consist of 7 members of the public and 2 alternates. The term shall be for the life of the committee, which is not to exceed December 31st, 2026, unless extended by the Town Board of Selectmen by resolution. The following are invited to be members of the commission: the town clerk or their designee, the library director or their designee, the Portland Historical Society office, a Portland Historical Society officer, a member of Portland Public Schools, a representative of the Portland Library Board of Friends of the Library. The first selectman shall appoint a chair and vice chair from among the members of the commission. The secretary shall be elected from among the remaining members. Members of the committee shall not receive any compensation for their service. Members of the commission shall be subject to the Portland Code of Ethics. The commission and members of the commission shall be subject to the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act, which are found in Chapter 14 of the Connecticut General Statutes. The meeting minutes shall be taken by the committee secretary, and records of such minutes shall be kept in the office of the town clerk. The committee shall hold regular, publicly noticed open meetings at least monthly, and may hold additional special meetings as needed. The chair and/or vice chair shall report periodically to the Board of Selectmen of the committee's plans, progress, and activities. The commission shall further, 1, develop, encourage, and execute an inclusive celebration of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, the Revolutionary War, and the founding of the United States of America, as well as to boost civic engagement through highlighting untold stories, engaging local communities, and encourage public participation in history. 2, coordinate, engage, and liaise with the Semi-Sesquicentennial Commission, 250 America, Connecticut, and other state and local commissions and private and public organizations and partners. 3, submit an action plan to the Board of Selectmen by June 1st, 2025 that outlines the committee's recommendations that include any action plan, implementation benchmarks, and related deadlines and schedules. 4, commemorate the semi-quincentennial of the American Revolution and Portland's participation and contributions to it, including but not limited to developing activities that recognize and tell inclusive stories about the historic, social, legal, cultural, and political forces that caused the American Revolution and influenced its course and outcomes, and celebrating the power of place by highlighting Portland's unique identity and contributions to America and Connecticut over the last 250 years. And 5, facilitate events and activities that align with the America 250 Connecticut themes, including but not limited to American Revolution-related activities and events throughout the town. This resolution passed and adopted by the Portland Board of Selectmen, Connecticut, on this 30th day, December, in the year 2024.
I'll second it. I was gonna say what he said, but
That's John's good.
Say it again.
All right. I appreciate you reading that, John.
Well, there's some stuff in there I think people want to hear.
I agree. It's important, and I look forward to seeing that committee get to work. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you all. The next item is a resolution to create a Brownfield Area Steering Committee. Now, you may recall back over the summer, the town received what's called it's called a BAR grant, a Brownfield Area Remediation Grant. It's a planning grant. It's a $220,000 grant from DECD with a 20% or 10% match, excuse me. So it's we have $220,000 that we are using to develop a new master plan for downtown Portland. And it's going to encapsulate the downtown Portland area as well as our riverfront overlay zone. And I think this is really critical. We had previously done a master plan for this area 25 years ago. And as part of that work, that's kind of how it led to us acquiring the quarries, and now we have the Exploration Discovery Park, and it really set us on a path for the future of Portland back then. And I think with all the economic development activity that we have going on between Brainerd Place and the Nordic Spa, that now is a great time to develop a new master plan. DECD agreed as well because they gave us the grant, which is awesome. And so we currently have an RFP out right now looking for a consultant that's going to be working with the town to develop this master plan. And so what this resolution is doing is it's creating a new committee that's going to work with the consultant and the town to help facilitate this master plan. So it's a really important item. And one thing that you're going to be talking about very soon is our 2026 to 2036 plan of conservation and development. And so I'm trying to time this right so that we'll have this master plan for the downtown, and the POCD can incorporate a lot of that information. So I know Dan Beret has worked on the RFP for that as well, and so that'll be going out soon, and we'll for a consultant for that. So they're kind of tied together, but I'm excited to see what this committee comes up with. So there's a resolution to establish the committee, and that's what I'm proposing today.
Okay. I'll read it. Resolution, Board of Selectmen, Town of Portland, Connecticut, December 30th, 2024. Resolution creating a Brownfield Area Steering Committee. Whereas the Town of Portland has recently received a $200,000 Brownfield Area Remediation Planning Grant from the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development to develop a new master plan for Portland's downtown district and riverfront overlay zone. And whereas, as part of this grant, a consultant will be hired to work alongside town staff and members of the public to leverage existing cleanup and private investments so that the entire area can be more conducive for redevelopment. And the Brownfield Area Steering Committee's goals shall include, but not be limited to, working with the consultant to develop a new master plan to attract private investment, reduce blight, eliminate contamination, and provide community benefit. Disseminating information regarding the Brownfield Area Steering Committee to the general public. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Selectmen, pursuant to Section 405, parentheses 5 of the Portland Charter, hereby creates a Brownfield Area Steering Committee, hereafter the Steering Committee, consisting of 5 members of the public, and to be further resolved that the Steering Committee shall adhere to all aspects of the Freedom of Information Law dealing with public agencies, and be it further resolved that the Steering Committee shall continue to function until such time as the work called for in this resolution is completed, at which time the committee shall notify the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen shall disband the committee.
Yep, I'll second that.
Great, thank you. Any discussion on this?
Great idea.
So we'll be looking for members for this committee as well. I think we do have one appointment initially, but if anyone who's in the audience or watching wishes to participate on this, this is a really important committee for the town, I think. So we'll be looking for volunteers. So yeah, there's no other discussion. I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Great. Thank you. And I think there's one appointment, as I mentioned. Bobby, do you have that?
Yes, I have one name, Courtney, I believe it's Schleit.
Schleit.
Is that it?
Schleit, I believe.
Courtney Schleit.
Yes. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Courtney had reached out to me when I announced the grant, and she's very interested in helping out. So I asked her if she'd want to serve on this, and she was very willing. So I want to thank her for joining. So with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, so the next item in your packet is fourth quarter transfers. This is a annual housekeeping item that we need to do each year, as this is for fiscal year '24, now that the year has come to a close and the numbers have been evaluated. As you can see, we did go over on some items last year, and so we will need to do a transfer from last year's, the fiscal year '24 contingency, to account for those items, and so that's what is in your package. So we went over on elections, election worker stipends. We've gotten hit hard with elections. There's no secret about that. Everyone has in the state, especially with minimum wage increasing. That was $3,334. Then the fire marshal department has part-time payroll between Brainerd Place and the Nordic Spa, and our fire marshals have been very busy throughout town, so they had more hours needed for inspections of $4,837. And then Inland Wetlands Commission, there was more enforcement hours needed, so that was $2,630. Municipal agent for the elderly, and this is our van driver stipends. This is a program, our seniors love this program, and well, Sarah's here. I think I saw Sarah. So Sarah will tell you how vital this is, and we try to be as accommodating as possible, and we keep adding more and more to the budget, and it seems to not be enough, but that was $5,515. And then our town engineer, this was the large ticket item at $26,147. That's just based on the amount of engineering work that we've had done. We've had a lot of projects going on. So I want to thank Jacobson for all their help in getting that done. So those are the budget transfer increases, and that would be a total of $42,463. And then we would decrease town contingency for fiscal '24 by that same amount. Any questions?
I'll make a motion that we transfer $42,463 from Town Contingency Fund 01-095-000-84001 to 5 accounts. I can read them just.
I don't think you have to read them.
You got them?
Yeah, just you can.
To the 5 accounts in the same total amount of $42,463.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this? Nope. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. The next item in your packet, I told you we had a lot of stuff to do tonight, right? So the next item in your packet is a request for a bid waiver. And so in speaking with our fire chief and former fire chief, this is, you may recall, the Board of Selectmen funded through capital back in fiscal '24, and then again in fiscal '25. I think we originally allocated $42,000, and then we put another 10 in last year for the replacement of the motors on our Marine 7, our fire department. Our Marine 7, our rescue boat, is currently it's not in operation right now, and so it needs new motors. And in order to do that, it's very difficult to find. Well, one, we have a company in town that houses our boat already, that is able to perform this work over the winter and get our boat back in service in May. And so for expediency, I'm requesting a bid waiver to just get this done, because it's been on the agenda, or it's been on our budget for capital items for too long, and I don't really want to risk sending our Marine 7 out of town and worried about damage and all sorts of things when it's already here, and Petzold can do the work now. So that's what I'm asking. If someone would like to move the resolution.
Yeah,
I'd like to,
Oh, no, go ahead, Bob.
Bobby, you can move it.
I make the motion for the resolution that, for the bid waiver for William Petzl for the work on Marine 7.
I'll second that motion, Bob.
You're not gonna read it, somebody? I spent a lot of time writing this.
Okay, I'll read it. What the, you don't want me to read that second page?
No,
All right.
just the resolution.
Resolution, Board of Selectmen, Town of Portland, Connecticut, dated December 30, 2024, request for waiver of bid requirements, William J. Petzl, Inc. Whereas the need exists within the fire department to replace the outboard motors on Marine 7 in order to make the vessel operational, able to aid in public safety matters during the 2025 boating season. And whereas the authorizations for the motor's replacement was included in the capital plan, fire marshal department, and whereas both outboard motors need to fit and work with Marine 7, and whereas the fire chief has searched for and attempted to obtain quotes from the limited number of suppliers of outboard motors, and whereas William J. Petzl, Inc., P.O. Box 27, Portland, Connecticut, 06480, with a physical address of 37 Indian Hill Avenue, Portland, Connecticut, 06480, can replace and install both motors within a reasonable time at a cost of $44,931.42 to work Marine 7. Now therefore be it resolved that in the best interest of the town, pursuant to Section 1208, subsection 7 of the Portland Charter, the Board of Selectmen hereby waives the bidding requirements of Section 1208 of the Portland Charter as it pertains to the purchase and installation of outboard motors from Marine 7 from William J. Petzl, Inc., and be it further resolved that the Board of Selectmen authorizes the First Selectman Ryan J. Curley or his designee, Fire Chief Robert Puida, to act on behalf of the town of Portland to enter into the agreement related to the purchase and installation of outboard motors for Marine 7.
All right, thank you both. So Bobby made the motion, John seconded. Any further discussion on this? All right, see none, call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you all. All right. Oh, there's our fire chief now. We just approved the Marine 7, so thank you. And let's see. So, item 11. And so, as I'm sure everyone here is aware, this is my last meeting as First Selectman for the town of Portland. It's definitely bittersweet. I certainly wish our friend Sean was here with us this evening. You know, I know it's a little emotional for me. I love this town. It's my hometown. Portland will always be my hometown. I'm not going very far, so you're still stuck with me. You'll still see me around. I'll see you at Adams. I'll see you at the gym. See if anybody's keeping up with their resolutions. But I just want to thank the board right now. You know, thank you. It's been a pleasure to work with you. Thank everyone here. We're very blessed in town to have so many people that are passionate about the community in which we live. And so there is an unresolved item of who will take my place as First Selectman. So my resignation is effective January 1 at 11:59 p.m. So on January 2, I will no longer be First Selectman. And so I do have the charter, you know, and I'm not sure if action's going to be taken this evening or not, but you know, the way the charter is written, basically, for vacancies, let's see. This is section 205 of the charter, and if such vacancy occurs on or after January of a regular town election year, the Board of Selectmen shall appoint a First Selectman of the same political party as the First Selectman resigning or unable to serve from the remaining members of the Board of Selectmen, provided a remaining member is willing to serve. So it appears as though it is up to this board, this body, to nominate a member of the same political party. And I know, Carrie, you're here as well. I don't know if anyone has any questions for Carrie. Well, I know there's a lot of, obviously, interest in this. my priority, and as I said previously, you know, I am committed to making sure that there's a smooth transition. I'm willing to work with anyone who is willing to serve in that role. And I you know, believe there are some people, or at least one person that I know of willing to serve in the role. I'm not sure if there's more than one that meets the criteria of the town charter. So with that, I'll open it up to discussion.
Ryan.
Oh, okay. Bobby, go ahead.
But Julio, you go first.
I was just going to say, you know, it's been a wild 12 days here, and I'm still emotionally out of it. Greek, you know, mourning his loss, and it's been very tough. But with the holidays and everything coming up, I'd like to put my name in for consideration, but I can't give an honest answer if I can vote tonight on that, because I still have to check with my work, timing of all this has been horrible, and my supervisors are on vacation until January 6th. But if it doesn't have to be appointed tonight, I'd like to put myself into consideration for the first regular scheduled meeting in January.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Bobby, did you want to say something?
I was gonna kind of suggest the same thing, that it has been hectic for us the last couple weeks, and like going by the charter, that Julio can step in as a temporary basis, and then we can look at it at a future meeting about which candidates would want to take the seat permanently.
I mean, a decision doesn't have to be made this evening on it. I mean, the only thing I would caution is that as deputy, Mike Hernandez would become the acting first selectman effective on January 2nd, as it is right now. The job of first selectman, I can assure you, is a full-time job. You cannot have other employment with that job. And so, so as long as someone is willing to, you know, if you're able to work full-time, but the work for the good of the town needs to continue, and it needs to, and I know everyone on this board, I know Mike, I know you understand that. So, so yeah, we can, if you want to table it, but, Mike, your phone's gonna be ringing January 2nd, so,
Bring it.
okay.
Ryan, I was actually thinking along the same lines, so this afternoon I checked Roberts, and I think the appropriate way to go is to make a motion to postpone, and according to Roberts, if the motion was postponed until the next meeting, it has to be dealt with as unfinished business at the next regularly scheduled meeting, which would be
January 8th.
January 8th. So, I mean, if it's a rule, it's a motion to postpone, we can postpone, and we take it up in January 8th. And I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, it's, honestly, I'm planning on abstaining anyway if there was a vote taken, so it's this board's call. It's, you know, if you guys are willing to do that, you know.
With the understanding that Julio, as the deputy, will just have to address any critical issues between now and our meeting on the 8th.
Okay, I think that's fine. So did you make a formal motion then?
Well, I think one of these guys did.
Oh,
Did
did you
they
make a
or not?
motion? Do you want to make a motion then?
That we're gonna
Did you say postpone?
postpone.
I think it's a motion to postpone until our next regularly scheduled meeting on the 8th.
Okay. Will somebody make the motion?
I'll
Was there
make
any
it.
more conversation, any more discussion?
Oh.
Any more discussion?
Oh.
That's right, you would,
Quick
Mike vote,
question.
right?
So everyone here knows that I'm also interested in this as well for a number of reasons, but I know you work right now. I know it's only, 6 days or 7 days and stuff like that. Your schedule allows you to be able to do that during that time?
That's what we've got to work out with them now. I do have a job that allows me very flexible hours and possibly work second shift and/or loosen my my workload, so that's why I need to discuss with the supervisor, so.
No, that's understandable. So I'm fine with that until the 8th.
Okay.
So did someone make the motion? Sorry.
I'll make the
I
motion.
didn't.
No, Carrie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to slip in here, not to, make things difficult. But we also have to vacancy for Sean. Is that going to be, discussed?
That's next.
That's next.
That's the
time.
next
That's
agenda
on the
item.
agenda, Carrie,
That's
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I thought it was going to go in the opposite direction.
No.
So the Roberts rule that's referred to here about motion to postpone, is generally a motion to postpone a pending motion, and I'm not sure that I understand what the pending motion is, so maybe some clarification on that front would be worthwhile.
I think the pending motion was just on the vote for a replacement for Selectman Carey. I don't think I could be wrong, it's up to the existing members of the Board of Selectmen who, to fill that, and it has to be someone who's willing to serve of the same political party. Outside of that, so I don't think that's gonna be settled tonight. It sounds like it'll be likely settled on January 8th. So, Carrie, for purposes to
So
just,
then, I don't think a motion to postpone is the relevant motion at this point. I think maybe it's just a motion to table.
okay. All right.
Sorry.
I mean,
don't mean to be-
do we even
No.
need to take a motion at all, Carrie? We can just put it on the agenda for January 8th. It's just unfinished business.
That's true, but I was gonna say, if you're gonna do anything, it would be a motion to table it until January.
Okay.
That's good.
Someone want to do that? Make a motion? And-
Ryan, I'll make that motion.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. Motion to table until January 8th. The vote for first selectman. So
I'll
it looks
second
like-
it if you need a second.
All right, thank you. Looks like everybody came out for nothing. I'm just kidding.
Right.
All right, and then, so motion made, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, so to Carrie's point, we do have nominations, Mike?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to nominate Tim Lavoy to fill the open vacancy on the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, motion carries unanimously.
I'd also like to make a motion to nominate Rick Shar to fill a vacancy on the board created effectively after January 2nd.
All right, motion made, is there a second? No, second?
I believe it's supposed to be held off until our next meeting.
No, we have Carrie here, we
Carrie.
talked about it. I'll second it if no one's willing to second it, to move it along. So motion made,
Oh,
second.
I'll move it wrong. I thought otherwise, that's all.
No, Carrie, we can vote on this now, correct?
I'm sorry, I heard a motion do I understand, to appoint somebody to take the position of first selectman?
No,
Judging-
no,
Okay, I'm sorry.
the Board of Selectmen seat that's going to be vacated. So Mike's going to be acting for selectman effective January 2, 2025. And so there will be an empty Board of Selectmen seat as well. So a motion's been made and seconded to nominate Rick Shar to fill that vacancy. And so this is the conversation we had earlier, Carrie, about that.
So, again, I kind of thought things were gonna go a little bit differently, but it seems to me that, the acting first selectman is not, the first selectman, they're just the acting first selectman. So the vacancy is still for the position of first selectman. It's not for a member of the board until one of you is elevated and the spot opens up. So I think what I would suggest is perhaps, again, if it's gonna take effect, it would have to be January 8th, right? When you actually move somebody into the first selectman position.
Okay.
And I guess I'm just questioning whether it makes sense to table that as well.
Okay, I have no problem tabling that to, if you guys want to table it. Carrie, that's essentially the same question that we called you, that this is what Jim and I were asking you before. Exactly.
No. Well, then I obviously didn't understand the question that was being posed to me over the phone.
Okay,
I understood things were gonna be going differently. And again, in my mind, you don't have a vacancy until somebody is actually moved into the first selectman position.
Okay,
Um,
all right, that
So-
makes sense.
So if there was any confusion during the phone call, it's because I obviously didn't understand fully the question.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, it's not gonna be a problem. If we do one motion, my suggestion would be we resolve the question of the first selectman, on the 8th. Hopefully that goes smoothly, and then right after, we can also have the same, we can resolve the other one. And then hopefully we'll have at that point I don't think there's anything controversial about Mr. Shah. I think we all look forward to working with Rick again.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't think but,
No, it's a, it's a non-issue. If it's safer for us to do it on the 8th, let's just do it on the 8th.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, sounds good, so, you'll withdraw the motion then?
I withdraw the motion.
Okay. With that, that is good. So we'll move on then to item 13, which is refunds of excess payments.
You want me to read those?
Yep.
I'll make a motion for a refund of excess payment for Michael at Victoria Egan, $1,164.75.
I will second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Motion for a refund of excess payment, Chance McQueen, $13.06.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Motion for a refund of excess payments, Aiden Coleman, $35.73, $43.28, and $66.14.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Motion for a refund of excess payment, let's see, Susie Hale Colby, L. Estabrook, N. Doobie, and W. Pankus, $39.59.
I will second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. All right. So with that, we have item 14 on the agenda, which is approval of minutes from the regular meeting on December 4th. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
I'll second it.
Thank you both. You reviewed those. Any errors, changes, anything? All right, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, motion carries. All right, so the next item this evening is an executive session. And so what we're going to do is we're going to close the online portion of the meeting. Excuse me now. This is on union negotiations, pension negotiations, and we're going to invite our attorney, Joe McQuaid, in for that. Anyone in the audience, we're going to open it back up because we will take action, possible action after executive session on the pension agreement, but that won't be online because we're going to close the online portion.
Well, I was gonna say, are we able to keep the online portion so Bob can?
We're
continue this?
gonna call Bobby, so
Okay.
he's gonna join us by phone. So I just want to thank everyone again for coming, and Happy New Year, everyone.